Well, welcome back. Last time we talked about how I think the head gasket's backwards. Well, we're jumping right into this. I've already started pulling this apart. So the head is about ready to come off. I'm going to just undo all the bolts, pull the head off, and we can go from there. I really hope this is it, even though that sucks that the head gasket's backwards, but if it's not this side, I'm going to pull the other side and check that as well since I have the stuff already. Let's jump into this. I got the head gaskets a couple days ago, so now I can just pull this head off. Alright, so I know you're just as curious as I am, so let's pull this off. Alright, hopefully that works for you. Oh, shit. The survey says, son of a bitch, it's on right. That's a shame. Damn, all right. So, it says front. All right, well, guess I'm pulling the other side. Sweet. I decided since I was here I was going to replace the lifter trace, so this is a new one. This is the OE one. I have the old 200,000 mile one. It's pretty nasty and janky. I mean, you can see all the crud and crap on that. Figure I might as well, since I'm here and I have a new set laying around, try and save it from dropping a lifter or anything like that. So I'll get this in and get the head back on. I'm kind of bummed. I was really hoping that was it since I've been having these issues for so long. Well, we'll keep going and see what we find. I have never been so disappointed in doing something right the first time. I just pulled the driver's side head, and that's correct as well, so I have no clue. Maybe I nicked a head gasket and I didn't realize it. So we'll go ahead and get the lifter trays out, and then we'll swap head gaskets, clean up the head. I'll take a look at both heads and make sure, but I haven't seen anything, so I'm kind of at a loss. Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I guess worst case I can put a bigger radiator in it. And then I wanted to show you the cylinder head. So passenger side, driver's side, and then this kind of shows you what I was talking about with cylinder number 5. How cylinder 5 is not firing all the way or has a weak spark. You can see, so the exhaust valves are white on all the cylinders that are firing correct. That one has a lot more soot, so it's not getting a real good strong ignition point there. So what I will do is I'll replace that. That one's showing signs of possibly something. I'll look into it and we'll see. Look at the spark plug. Possibly I might need to replace both of those. This one could be on the way out, but other than that, I mean, the heads look great. Nothing indicates that a head gasket was bad. I guess I'm just going to slap it together and run it until it doesn't run anymore. I have no clue what to do with this anymore. Anyways. Pistons look great for what they are. And the new lifter trays are in. Well, I took a little break from the Camaro and went to Holley's LS Fest this last weekend. But as you can tell, I'm very sunburnt. Now that's out of the way, I can get back to cutting this all out so I can make that fit. So I think at this point what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to cut this whole top brace out of this, and then I will go back and make a support for the hood. I don't feel like doing the hood latches on it for right now, so I'm just going to keep the OEM one. I'm going to build a little brace off the side, but in order to go racing, I might just be racing without a hood for now. I know it's a little cliche with race without a hood, car without a hood, but It's going to be temporary for now. I'll set the hood on there when I'm not doing anything with it, and then just take it off when I go racing. But I hope I don't have to go too long without one. Holy crap. That just made so much more room. I have room for days now. So I'll get the intercooler in and then get the fan shroud on. Okay, so I think when I ordered the fan shroud, I got a little carried away with on what I think I can fit for size. So the thickness of this is a lot more than I realized. I have just been cutting a lot of crap out. So obviously the top is gone, I already went over that, but the bottom is now gone as well. I have just a thin piece of strap still underneath there that I think I'm going to weld in. That right there, it fits, but it's still pretty close to the turbo with the shroud and everything. So I think if I get this all together and it still overheats with the shroud and the fan on it, I have bigger issues, and I don't know what they are. Probably a bad radiator, which it overheated before I put this turbo kit and the radiator on, so I'm thinking possibly the fan issue because it was the same fans. Also, I bought a 200 amp relay so I can run the high speed fan. So this is a 2-speed fan, sorry, so it's a high and a low speed. So I bought a second relay that has a 200 amp load capability because these fans supposedly, they draw somewhere like 110 to 130 amps when they kick on their high speed. So I don't want to melt anything, so I just ordered a new relay. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to finish putting the turbo kit together, and then I'm going to start tack welding some stuff into place so I can get this. I had to order new piping, so this is 1 3/4, almost 2 inch. This is 1.5 inches. So I ordered some extensions because now my radiator hoses do not reach at all. First world problems, right? So, positive note, it's lighter. I cut out, I don't know, 10 pounds of sheet metal, which is also, I guess, rigidity. So I might try and put some bracing back in the top of this. I don't know, because I just want it together. I wanted to start it and hear it run again because I have a week and a half before my first race of the season. So, all right, so check it out. It's looking pretty good. I roughly got this mounted in. These are temporary. I will put holes and make them so that they're permanent. Just wanted to make sure it was all going to fit. I extended this, so I ordered this tube. Took forever to get here, so I've been kind of waiting on that. And with saying that, I'm still waiting on, let's see if I can move that out of the way, the tube to extend this down here. It says it's still sitting at the place that it had shipped from like 2 weeks ago. So I don't know, if it just shows up tomorrow, that'd be great. That's when it's supposed to be delivered. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to improvise and make something work. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the leftover of that, because that's 1.5 inches, and that's like 2 inches, or 1 3/4 inches. I think it's 1 3/4 inches. Well, I guess. So this is 1.5 inches. I'll take and make an extension with this, and then just cut that up and move it down so that it has something to clamp onto. Ideally, I'd prefer not to do that, but next week is racing, and I need to get this running by this week, so if it doesn't come in by tomorrow, I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to finish with the mounts. So I actually put a piece of bar down there. It's completely held up by its own. Make sure it's not going to burn myself, but it's pretty rigid. So I'll just make some top mounts that hold this thing in place so it doesn't go anywhere when I'm trying to accelerate. And then there's a little bit of distance there, so I'll be able to get my turbo blanket back on. That guy right there, back on there. And then I can just wire it and start it. Like, this thing is ready to be started. Everything is on it. Everything is cut up, everything is good to go. So if I start it and it holds the temperature, we're golden, we're good to go. If not, I'm gonna make it work so that I can actually get to the racetrack. Things we have to do, huh? It's kind of weird. Sucks, but we're almost there. All right, so I'm just wrapping this up, getting it filled up with coolant. I got that welded on. That guy's in there, mounted. It's pretty stable. I feel pretty good about that. I need to make a bracket on the bottom side still. I'm gonna get this topped off with some water. Get it started, let it idle. I need to wire the fan in still. I just remembered that looking at it. So I'm gonna wire the low speed on the fan for now. And then we'll sit and let this warm up and see if we can get it to overheat. All right, so this is the first start since I have done the head gaskets. So I've got everything buttoned up. Don't mind my temporary wire nut. This is the low speed fan, so we'll get it on and let it run for a bit, see if it functions and does what it needs to. I might need to come through and, like, there's about a 1/2 inch hole right here. I'll figure that out. Maybe I'll put a piece of cardboard there for the meantime. I replaced that coil pack because that was the cylinder that was missing, and it showed on the spark plug and the head there. Temporary, obviously. That's mounted, not going anywhere. And I don't have a hood because I cannot fit one anymore with this radiator where it's at. That should help with the heat as well. But I don't know. I'm stalling. Let's start it. So I was letting this thing warm up, and I whacked the throttle just to kind of give it some RPM to help with the circulation. Well, it started smoking really, really bad on this passenger side. You know, hurry to come over, trying to see what was going on. Couldn't see anything because the smoke was pretty decent billowing out of there. So I run over, turn off the car, and I think, well, there goes that head gasket. No. Do you see anything that's missing? There's no oil dipstick tube. I freaking forgot to install the oil dipstick tube. It sprayed out onto the manifolds, and that's what was smoking. Holy crap. Go figure, right? But I am still tending the water. It wouldn't burp. It was getting angry. I've kind of just been tending this, and it'll keep draining. So the expansion tank keeps draining down, so I'm just keep filling it up. Hopefully that will get me to the point. The thermostat wouldn't kick open because there wasn't enough water in it to cause it to open. So it was just getting hot. The radiator started getting hot, so at least I know it was circulating in here, but not hot enough to kick it open. But that kind of freaked me out with the smoke. Bound to happen, I guess. If that's the worst that happened, then I think we're doing all right, because that fired right up, no problem. I was pretty impressed with how it fired up. You should be too.